Hello, wonderhussie here, back from Australia in Las Vegas. That's right, the mean streets of Sin City. As a matter of fact, you can see in the distance there the Mandalay Bay, the W, and just the tip of the Luxor. Just the tip. Anyway, I'm out here in this random industrial kind of area at this random strip mall because I'm meeting my friend from Villa Anita back in Tacoma at some picture framing shop. I'm not sure. Carlo has some idea cooked up for me involving this picture framing shop, and so he's supposed to be here somewhere.
Hi!
Oh, there he is. Ha! What great timing you have. Hello. Okay, you remember Carlo from Villa Anita, the fabulous art compound with 47 dogs and all kinds of interesting artwork and all kinds of interesting things going on all the dang time. Well, he's got something else cooked up now.
Hi! Hey!
Okay, unfortunately, my microphone cable chose this exact moment to start fritzing out, so I lost all the audio from everything I shot inside off-the-wall framing shop. But that's okay, because everything Carlo said had to be condensed into a voiceover anyway, or this video would be 3 hours long. Anyway, Carlo brought me here because he's planning what he calls an art celebration gala, a sort of party or happening featuring some of the art from Villa Anita, as well as some of the photos he's taken of me, which he had printed out at a place called Cashman Photo, of all places, where I used to work as a souvenir photographer back in the day. I guess the idea is he's going to bring a bunch of art and drinks and hors d'oeuvres and a go-go dancer and a DJ and a few other fun surprise guests, and the lovely Michelle is going to host this little happening on the afternoon of Saturday, June 14th, just a little over a week from now. So if you live in the area, or you happen to be in Vegas that weekend, come on down and say hi, and bring some art with you to have framed. And don't think it has to be some kind of crazy kind of highbrow art. People have all kinds of stuff framed here. Art is subjective. You could even bring your favorite picture from one of my calendars. They'll frame pretty much anything. Now, what with everything else going on in my life right now, the last thing I really have time for is an art happening. Or maybe an art happening is just what I need. After all, it's important to stop and smell the roses, or sip wine and dance in a frame shop on a Saturday afternoon. But either way, our stop at Off the Wall wasn't actually the main reason I'd gone to Vegas that day. Okay, Carlo, let's go. We got a lot of stops to make.
Oh my God, we have lunch, the girls' night, the day out, lunch, I need lunch.
Well, first,
mocktail.
okay, well, hold on. First, we have a surprise stop to make, so let's go check that out.
Wait until you see this beautiful giant.
Okay, don't give the surprise away.
Take the next right onto West Russell Road.
Ugh, I'm still using my friend Bill's phone, and I guess he set it to an Aussie accent because he was in Australia.
Take the next left onto South Rogers Street.
I think David Copperfield's warehouse is somewhere in this area. You know, where he stores all his props for his amazing magic tricks? I used to work at his show when I worked for Cashman Photo, and I got to know a lot of people on his crew, and well, I got to meet him a couple times too, and in fact I got to help him rehearse a magic trick once. Unfortunately, he never tried hitting on me. You know, he was kind of outed or almost canceled as a pervert, but I don't know, man. I never got any love from him. Oh, wow, there's a guy in Tacoma, believe it or not, who used to own that strip club. Right there. Small world.
At the light, use any lane to turn slightly left onto Las Vegas Boulevard South. Then you will arrive at your destination. You have arrived.
Okay, yikes. I'm not sure how long we're going to be able to park here like this. This is totally illegal. But the thing Carlo and me came to see is that pink elephant. Okay, remember when I made a video? I came into town to watch them implode the Tropicana, and I did a video where I walked down this dead part of the strip where everything is sort of decaying. and being torn down. And there's this amazing old motel called the Diamond Inn that's totally fenced off and we can't see inside. In fact, if you watched that video, well, you might remember I was actually chased out of here by these meth head caretakers that are looking out after the property. Anyway, I guess somebody bought the motel and they're gonna bulldoze it and build some lame ass douchebag casino. But apparently they don't want the pink elephant. And so apparently this pink elephant is for sale. Okay, I guess Carlo saw a post on Facebook talking about how this iconic giant pink fiberglass elephant has been on the Vegas Strip since the early 1960s. First at a motel called the Bagdad Inn, and then at what was called the Desert Isle Motel, which is now the Diamond Inn and is now almost certainly slated for demolition. And of course, Carlo thinks his experiential art museum on the edge of Death Valley, Villa Anita, would be the perfect home for this fabulous pink elephant. If anybody watching this video knows who is in charge of this elephant and how much they want for it, let us know.
We need him.
We need him. Either he needs him or I need him.
We need him.
We may end up having to duke it out.
We want him in Tacoma.
I mean, really. Okay, but the pink elephant wasn't the main reason I went to Vegas either. Carlo was supposed to help me with something, but he kept making all these random pit stops. Okay, what is he stopping here for? And no, he's not stopping at the dispensary next door. He's stopping here at the Double Down Saloon, aka the happiest place on earth.
Woo! Double down!
What?
Let's go have a cocktail!
I thought you said you quit drinking.
I did. We're gonna have a mocktail.
Okay, wow. I don't know if they'll serve us mocktails at a hardcore punk rock bar like this. I mean, that's what this place is. This is a really gnarly and kind of infamous, well-known punk rock bar. Who's the owner?
Moss.
And you know this person?
Oh, God, I've known him for probably 30 years, 35 years when I first came into Vegas.
Well, I have been here a time or three myself, and it's a really fun bar. Unfortunately, it's playing copyrighted music, but that's okay. I'll just put in some royalty-free punk rock so you get the experience. Okay, these are like the gnarliest bathrooms in all of Las Vegas. I guess that's the men's room because there's a disgusting urinal with hair on it. I doubt the ladies' room is any better, but hey, at least you can't hear the copyrighted music in here. Wow, look at this lock. No one's busting in on us now. Dang it! I don't have any of my stickers with me. I could have left one on the toilet or on the walls somewhere if there is any space that isn't already covered. Look at this on the trash can. I love ass juice. That's their signature cocktail here, and it's even served in a little mini toilet-shaped porcelain glass. As tempting as it was to order an ass juice or 3 on a Monday afternoon, Carlo has been sober since New Year, so we settled for mocktails and, of course, a quick session in the photo booth. But I couldn't get too distracted. I still had an important stop to make in town, so we soon headed back out into the harsh light of reality, where we ran into a viewer of this channel who was visiting all the way from South Bend, Indiana. Well, what's your name, sir?
Chuck.
Chuck here is about to go into the happiest place on earth, and we just ran into him. And
yeah.
May I say it's a big honor to meet you.
I wish I would have caught you inside, but I would like to talk to you a little bit, you know. But
well.
I mean, you are like one of the most informative people that I see on YouTube.
You shouldn't take everything you hear on the internet for granted.
Well,
I mean, I might be talking out of my ass, and in fact, I frequently am.
But I know that you're real because I'm looking at you.
That's
so
right.
yeah, it's not AI.
No,
you
no
know,
AI,
yes.
100% real.
And I know
Authentic.
I see the armpit here.
Yeah,
and
exactly. That's how you know
That's
it's
how
really
I know
me.
it's real.
Yeah.
And it's
Woo-wee.
great.
Boy, at this rate, I was never going to get my business done. You never know who or what you're going to run into in a city like Las Vegas. But after visiting with the awesome Chuck, we finally headed on to our final destination. Well. I'll bet you didn't expect to see this place again. Okay, this is my old house that I lived in before I moved to Death Valley. And I didn't sell it when I moved. I've been renting it out for the last 3.5 years, just in case Death Valley didn't end up working out. So I hired a property management company, and they found a tenant that was here for the entire almost 3.5 years. And I thought everything was going well, but the tenant ended up moving out at the beginning of May, and the property management company tells me there's all kinds of repairs that need doing, and so I came here to see if they were right. Okay, spoiler alert, Carlo and I already went in here and looked around, and oh my god, it's depressing. Okay, do you guys remember this? This was my office. They busted a hole in the door. The carpet, looks like they had a dog or something. There's a big old piss stain. I mean, not too much damage in here, but everything is just filthy. You know, I don't know, like, who leaves all this crap behind when they move out of a house? You know, I don't want all your old junk, but I don't even know where to start. Every carpet is filthy and damaged. That was my dressing room. This was my bedroom. Not really too much damage here, just a very dirty carpet. This was my bathroom. Looks like they never really did much cleaning. Who lives like this? I mean, look at that. That's disgusting. There's like water damage and garbage and dental floss. Like, what the hell? Is that black mold? Oh man, this toilet thing is leaking. Oh, I don't know how to look at these piss stains anymore. I don't know what to do, how to stop this. Oh, hell. Oh, this is just overwhelming. It looks like there was water damage here in the kitchen too. Looks like the tile is buckling because there was some water damage under the sink. Who the hell knows? Oh. Do you ever find yourself in the position of dreading going home? Well, that's the position I find myself in right now. And as a matter of fact, I feel like I don't even really know what home means. Okay, I'll be honest with you. I went to check on my house in Vegas. Not just because the people who were renting it moved out, but also because I'm kind of considering moving back there, at least part-time. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of really cool benefits to living out here on the fringes of civilization, on the edge of Death Valley. But lately, it seems like the negatives outweigh the positives. I mean, for starters, I would be outside filming this instead of cooped up inside my car, except for it's 108 degrees outside and there's these giant flies the size of, well, I suppose you could say they're the size of the state of Connecticut, and they're absolutely relentless, and they'll take a chunk out of you if you spend more than 30 seconds outdoors between mid-May and mid-October. But it's not the heat, or the bombers, or the fact that you can't drink the water, or the fact that your hair never ever feels clean when washing it with that water that's getting me down. No, it's the interpersonal dynamics. I mean, have you ever heard that song, Harper Valley PTA? Well, this is just a little Peyton place and you're all Harper Valley hypocrites. Remember that song? Well, I could pretty easily do a remake of it, replacing Harper Valley with the name of this place. I mean, I guess that's just how it is in small towns, and especially small towns in the desert. Okay, I try not to sweat the stupid stuff or let other people's problems get me down, but when that stupid stuff keeps adding up more and more, and when that stupid stuff drags on for years, well, eventually you reach a tipping point that makes Las Vegas seem like a sane and normal place to live. I don't really want to move back to Las Vegas. But honestly, I sort of feel like I have no choice. I mean, it sucks because I've really gotten used to the peace and quiet and freedom of living out here in the middle of nowhere. And yeah, I could continue to stay out here and enjoy that peace if I never left the compound and just kept to myself in my casita and on my private grounds. But I'm a social person, man. I want to go out and interact with other people. And these friggin' people need Jesus. Okay, I don't know. Maybe they don't need Jesus. In fact, I know at least 1 or 2 people in town who definitely don't need Jesus. In fact, they probably need a little less Jesus. But there's definitely a few people who need Buddha or Krishna or the flying spaghetti monster or someone to step in and intervene, because, man, it has become a total shit show. And yeah, I realize I'm probably being naive to think that it wasn't a total shit show before I moved out here. In fact, I should have known. In fact, I did know that it was a shit show when I moved here, but I thought it was a lovable, kind of fun shit show, that we were going to all be in it together, and I was going to do my part, and I did. I tried to do my part. I mean, golly, it's really hard to make this video because I don't want to throw anybody under the bus, and there's a lot of really nice people here in town, but man, there's been some people saying some really awful things about me lately, and frankly, I guess my feelings are hurt. Wah, wah. I know you can break out the world's smallest violin right about now, but man, when I moved out here, I was well aware that most people in small towns in general, really, small towns don't want some big city YouTuber moving to their town, okay? I get that. And so when I moved out here, I was, kept a super duper low profile, and my sister and I both volunteered for every committee or project that we could to better the community, pulling invasive weeds and joining the fire board and whatever we could do to be a part of the community and show good faith that we really wanted to be community members and wanted to help out. That being said, I didn't say anything about YouTube because I'm well aware that people hate social media and especially hate influencers, and that's the irony in all of this. I don't even consider myself an influencer. Who the hell do I influence, and to what end? But I guess, like it or not, because I make my living on YouTube, I'm an influencer, and a good percentage of the population is just dead set against you before they even meet you. And I know I talked about this in a video a couple months ago called Walking the Line. I got a bunch of really nasty emails from one of my neighbors, and since then I've had or heard a number of other really nasty comments about me in this town, and it's like, what the hell, people? I've done nothing but bend over backwards to try and help you guys. I mean, when I moved here, of course, I was super hyper ultra sensitive of the fact that these people aren't going to like me. I was well aware of the fact that 95% of the town was predisposed to hate me. Okay, fine, you can call me stupid for moving into a situation like that, and yeah, in retrospect, I probably was stupid. But I thought, okay, well, no, I'll just be respectful and do what I can to, be a good neighbor and help out. And so initially, I didn't film any videos around town. I just stuck to my own private property. I didn't say where I lived. I just said I lived in Death Valley. And part of that was I didn't want a bunch of people coming up and stalking me. But part of it was, I didn't want to piss these people off. It's their town. They've been living here longer than me. So I didn't say anything about any of that until one day, somebody from the fire board approached me because they were trying to recruit a new fire chief, and they were having a real hard time because it only pays $18 an hour for something like 20 hours a week, and the person has to move out here. And so I said, I was actually really excited and flattered to be asked. It actually made me feel like I was a valuable asset. Like, oh, yay, somebody sees that there's something good that could come out of social media. And so I did. I made a video recruiting a new fire chief, which I had to say the name of the town in that video because it was a friggin' job recruiting video, and it worked. I recruited a fire chief that everybody loved. Unfortunately, he didn't last very long, only about a year, but that kind of opened the door. After that, they asked me to try and raise money for our water kiosk because can't drink the water out here, so the state of California put in this water well that has a reverse osmosis filter on it, but it's perpetually underfunded, and they're always struggling to stay open, I guess. And so I don't know, I shared that, made a whole video about the water well, and I raised like $6,000 thanks to you guys and your generosity. And then they asked me to promote the fire department fundraiser thing, which I did, and a bunch of people, you guys showed up, and the first one we raised something like $20,000, and then the next one, the flea market, we raised something like $10,000, and then the last one we just did, we raised like another $20,000. I mean, I figure altogether I've probably raised at least $50,000 for this town. In addition to volunteering for all these projects, pulling weeds and cleaning up this and cleaning up that, and patronizing these local overpriced businesses and trying to do my part to be a good community member. But unfortunately, it doesn't seem to really have made much difference in some quarters. Now, I can't paint everybody with a broad brush. Most of the people in this town are super cool. But there's a real vocal minority of people that are just dicks, frankly. And yeah, I get it. Like, tempers are getting heated because it's been a long, very fraught season. They call it seasons out here because most people with any sense leave in the summer. This particular last season was just, I don't know, there's all kinds of crazy stuff going on. Beefs, like this one was mad at that one, and that one couldn't go onto this property, and that one couldn't go to this property, and then there was this one property that like hardly anybody could go on, and these are businesses we're talking about, okay? Not just private people's homes. These were businesses that, man, it's just like some really dysfunctional, I was going to call it a chess game, but chess actually has rules and logic. And this place is absolute chaos, which I guess is why they call it Amarosa chaos. Okay, that's an actual geologic term for the crazy geology out here. I mean, there's all these mountains that are all different ages and layers all jumbled up every which way, mishmash, not in the usual order of oldest to youngest. I'm not a geologist, so I can't explain it very well, but anyway, Amarosa chaos is a geology term, but it's also the perfect bumper sticker for this town. Which, on the one hand, is kind of awesome. I mean, I'll say one thing for this area. It's never boring. But I kind of feel like I might have reached my personal tolerance limits. I mean, it's no fun living in a town where, yeah, even though it's only a handful of people, there's only 150 people who live here. So something like, I would guess at least 2% of the people in this town hate me. Why would I want to live someplace where 2% of 150 people don't like me? I mean, I only have so many years of life left on this planet. Why would I want to waste any of them in an environment like that? As beautiful as it is. So the fact that the people who were renting my house back in Vegas moved out right now kind of seemed like it might be auspicious, like a sign that maybe it was time for me to admit defeat and just give up and move back. I mean, yeah, I don't like giving up. I'm very stubborn, and also I know everybody watching my videos when my sister and I moved out here were probably thinking, oh, those girls, they won't last a year. Oh, those girls, they won't last 2 years, blah, blah, blah. Well, I could stay out here for the rest of my life, but why would I want to, man? I mean, and I should note that none of this applies to my sister. My sister still really likes living out here. She likes putzing around the property, working on her projects, and, being on the fire board and working at the museum. And she has been fully accepted and is a valued member of this community because she's not a damn influencer. And good for her, to be honest, it'd probably be a huge relief for my sister if I moved away because, I mean, she can see what's going on and she can see how unhappy I've been, honestly, pretty much since moving here. Man, before the 2020s have been a rough decade for me. I was always kind of an emotional person and kind of like a melancholy, like I cried very easily as a child and all the way up through my teens. But I don't know, I got real happy in the 20 teens. In fact, there was a period of something like 5 years where I didn't cry a single time. Well, guess what? That all ended it ended on Christmas Eve 2019 for a kind of unrelated reason, but not really unrelated. It was the reason that kind of brought me to this area in the first place. Since then, man, I have cried more, especially since moving out here. I've cried more than I ever have in my entire life. In fact, that's probably why I look so beat up right now, is I've been going through a lot of soul searching, trying to figure out what I want to do. Is it really smart to move back to Vegas? I mean, living in the middle of the friggin' city after this? Oh my gosh, look at that. It's like a big haboob moving in a huge dust storm. Can you see that? It's a big dust storm moving through the desert just behind my compound. Anyway, what am I trying to say here? I don't even know what I'm trying to say because I don't know what I want to do. I mean, obviously I have to address the problems with that house in Vegas. I have to get the repairs made, and so that's going to require some time spent there. And if I fix it up, well, I mean, I could move back into it. But I don't know. They say you can't go home again, and even though it never really felt like my home, well, I've never had a place that felt like my home, so what the hell's the difference? But okay, I could sell it and move somewhere else, but I honestly have no idea where else I would move. This whole experience has made me even more self-conscious, gun shy. I always felt like people didn't like me, and I know that's stupid. Like, I'm smart and I'm creative and I do all kinds of nice things for people, but it still always felt like people don't like me. And so this whole experience kind of just made it worse. And so I'm afraid that anywhere else I moved would just be the same thing. Unless this place is just somehow uniquely toxic, which is a very real possibility. I mean, we are sitting here on the banks of a river that the Spanish named the Amarosa because it was so bitter. And a significant chunk of the people in this town spend a significant chunk of their time literally marinating in that water. So I don't know, yeah, maybe this town is especially bitter, and if I moved somewhere else, they would welcome me. But golly, I don't know. I know you probably think I'm making this up, but I really do. I have super low self-esteem, and I definitely don't have the right temperament to be doing what I'm doing. You have to have a thick friggin' skin to be in this line of work, and even though my skin is thicker now than it was when I started, well, the truth is, I still have a very soft heart, and I still bruise easily. So anyway, that's what's going on in Wonderhussey's world. Lots of exciting drama, and that's not even taking into account the fact that the CIA has my cell phone. That's right, the friggin' CIA still has my cell phone. If you watched my Australia video, it was confiscated when I was down there very innocently taking pictures from a distance of this secret government base. Anyway, the CIA and or NSA has my dang phone, and that's making everything even more difficult because I'm trying to call people to make repairs on that place in Vegas, and I don't have any of my contacts, any of my phone numbers, and well, I'll say this, at least it isn't boring. I mean, I am bummed because my plan when I got back from Australia was to get out as quickly as I could because it is going to start getting real hot here, like, 110, 115, 120 degrees, and I don't want to be here for that. I want to take off and go exploring, go adventuring and shoot some videos. But it seems like things are conspiring to keep me here, and that's fine, If I take my head out of my ass for 5 friggin' seconds, what? I'm really lucky. I have a place to go. I have my health. That's the most important thing. I have my health. I mean, I never want to lose sight of that. No matter what else goes wrong and some loser says something mean about me, who cares, I shouldn't let some petty bozos steal my sunshine. But that's easier said than done, especially when you're an overly sensitive nitwit like me. Okay, well, I guess I might as well stop sitting here burning gas and wasting time and polluting the environment more than I already have. I better just go home and face my demons, face the challenges ahead of me. And, well, I think now more than ever, it's time to put on my big girl panties. Challenge accepted. Okay, enough whining. If you have any advice for me or anything you want to say to me about any of this, Well, I won't really have much time to check email, what with everything else going on, but if you live in Vegas, you can come down and tell me in person at Carlo's event at Off the Wall Gallery on Saturday, June 14th from 1 to 5 p.m. I'll put the address in the description to this video. But if you can't make it to that event, well, you can always stay tuned to find out what happens next. Both in my continuing Australian adventure series, which I thought was pretty friggin' crazy. But come to find out, it's no crazier than what's going on in my day-to-day life here in the USA.